Hey guys, welcome to my Tea Time Thursday. I hope you guys are doing well. I haven't been here in in a little bit, but I'm still always super excited to be here doing this live. I was actually thinking the other day how I started this back in February and now it's November and it's almost the end of the year and it's almost gonna be kind of a year that I've started this tea time. And, I've missed some days here and there. I've missed some weeks here and there. And my tea time is always an encourager, a motivational thing to show up for my week or to show up for Thursdays. And I'm excited to be here. So, happy Thanksgiving for those who celebrate Thanksgiving, and for those who don't, happy Thursday. So, welcome. Tea time. It says coffee, but it's tea. Sometimes it's coffee. So, something that I mentioned in a video last night or the other day is that it's been hard to be grateful recently, and I don't know how many of you guys are feeling that way, or who are having some kind of rough, dark seasons, but I just wanted to create a space, if you're watching this now or if you watch it later, to just take some time and step back, or even in our seasons, to see anything, just anything in this moment, in the now, that you can be grateful for. Hey, Tala. And, that could be your phone. A lot of people are off today, even if you don't celebrate Thanksgiving. A lot of people use this as a just day to hang out with family, friends, or just to have a relaxing day at home. So maybe you can be thankful for that. So in the midst of life and the struggles and challenges and dark seasons, what is something that you can be grateful for? And like I said, it's been a little rough finding something or trying to be grateful for something, but something for me that has popped up in these seasons is always the souls that I have in my life. I'm always grateful for that, and just having the presence, is that presences? I don't know if that's a word, but I guess having the souls that I do in my life, I'm always grateful for them, because they help me so much. They guide me so much to get through these seasons in my life. And yeah, so let me know, Tala, what is something that you're grateful for? Let me know in your comments after you watch this what you're grateful for. I would love to know. And in this moment, right? In this moment, what am I grateful for? I am grateful that I'm showing up to this, because like I said, I love these tea times, and yeah, so I'm grateful for tea time. Another thing that I'm grateful for is country music, because I've been jamming to country music all morning. And another thing is just doing my makeup, because I love getting ready. So, hey Carla, feel something that we can be grateful for right now. So, hey. So yeah, shoot. In this moment, what is something that, yeah, you're grateful for? So, thank you, Carla. I tried. But yeah, so yeah, okay. So Thanksgiving, right? Yeah, I hope you guys have a beautiful Thursday. I wanted to talk today about just the things that sometimes we think about, or yeah, the things that we think about that we want to share with our loved ones, or even with strangers, but sometimes we feel like we're crazy for sharing or for expressing, and just what that looks like. The last couple of weeks have been a little bit of a practice of sharing some of the stuff that's on my mind, and I can see before I share how I can see, or I can tell my own thoughts or my own judgments of, oh my god, if I share this, I'm gonna be seen as crazy, or if I share this, I'm gonna be seen as overreacting, or if I share this, they're gonna think that I'm super sensitive. And it's been practiced to share. And why do we stop ourselves from sharing? I don't know, that's something to ponder on, right? Sometimes we feel that we're gonna get rejected, we're gonna feel unheard, we're gonna feel left kind of alone in the conversation. sometimes we feel that, what else? Well, I'm thinking from like experience, like how have I felt before? Sometimes it feels like it was useless, you know? There's moments where I felt that way too. But yeah, so I wanted to create just a tea time, uh, sharing or encouraging to just share whatever is on our mind to our loved ones. And that, it's gonna be all right. Another reason why sometimes I feel like I don't share is because I'm afraid that shit will hit the fan and that arguments will spark. And I don't know how your guys' upbringing was, but I've been realizing and learning more about going deeper into my own upbringing and realizing how the times that I've wanted to share certain stuff, shit does hit the fan. But it doesn't mean that it's like that all the time or with everyone. And it's been practiced to do that with my close ones. And as I do it, I'm realizing that shit doesn't hit the fan. That one, I'm not crazy. Two, I'm not sensitive. Like, I am being heard. I am being seen. So part of this practice is practicing and also realizing or feeling it for yourself that whatever your mind is telling you is not true at all. Hopefully that makes sense. Um, but like something that I was also pondering on is like sometimes shit will hit the fan, right? Like we all have different perspectives, different opinions. Sometimes life is happening on my end, on my friend's end, or my partner's end, and we bring that subconsciously into the conversation or into wanting to share something. And maybe shit will hit the fan and maybe things will go south for a little bit, but for a little bit, as in maybe a couple minutes. And it's also bringing awareness to how there's also juice in that space. And what do I mean by that, right? Like, what do I mean by that? By that, I mean that, if shit hits the fan, there is part or all of that could be used as your own awakening or your own route back to your own space of love or compassion or to each other's space of love and compassion, whoever it could be. In that space, it broadens perspectives. You get to understand after shit hits the fan, right? Like, I don't know how it works out with you guys, but hopefully there's conversations, vulnerable, hard conversations, and at the end there is a broadening of perspective and a broadening of each other's intentions. And as that happens, and the more you want to share or express, you realize or you start to trust that whatever they say or that whatever you say, at the end of the day, it's good intentions. Even if there's a moment where both of you are frustrated or where there's a miscommunication, the intention is always there that it's with love and with good intentions. And I've had some rough conversations with, like, my closest friends, like, Carla, Stephanie, and I've had some with, like, Sabrina, where, like, we've shared certain stuff back and forth, and sometimes, there's, like, this little pinch of an ego, I guess, that's what I say, of, like, ooh, like, I don't like that, or, ooh, I feel defensive, or, ooh, like, are they meaning this and that? And what's helped a lot to not overreact or to not be the one to make shit hit the fan, I guess, or run with it or anything like that, or to let my frustration, my defensiveness, or any of the other human feelings that we all have to escalate is to remind myself their intentions and to remind myself of my own intention, even when it's the other way around, where I share something and they're feeling that way, where it's going back to the core. Like, what's my intention? What's their intention? Okay, it's always we want what's best for each other. It's coming from a space of love and from our own perspectives and our own experiences with life. And that intention of, like, we just want what's best for each other. And that's something that could probably help you when you're sharing certain stuff to your loved ones. And another part of this too is not having any expectations, good ones or bad ones, or hopes, good ones or bad ones. What is it? When you're sharing, because that could also feel a little bit of a, if it's not what you wanted to hear, or if it is, either way, it's like a polar opposite effect of, like, good or no. and I don't want to use the word better, but it's been practiced to also be in this linear of sharing just because I want to share. Doesn't matter if they say something that's bad, or if they say something that's good, quote unquote, because we all have our own definitions of what that is. But just going back to my own intention of like, I just want to share just to share, and going in it with that perspective. So, yeah, that's something that I wanted to share. If you have anything that you would like to add, I think, Carla, you're the only one on here, so woohoo! Grateful for my number one fan. So, something also that I've been practicing, which is interesting with this space of like my own judgment on my own judgments of myself of, I think I'm going to be crazy, or I think I'm going to be seen as crazy or as an overthinker or XYZ, is also taking the approach of it with curiosity rather than defensiveness, because there's such a huge difference when we share with defensiveness and when we share with curiosity. But I've also been learning how it does take a little bit of energy to kind of step back for a little bit and be mindful of where I'm at, and then to share it. Because, I have a partner, and that's something that's new, and some stuff that I thought were totally done with because I haven't been in a relationship or an intimate relationship for a couple of years, I thought they were gone. And being in a relationship, it's bringing back a lot of old patterns that I thought were like, okay, I've done work these past 3 years. Hey, brother. Happy Thanksgiving. Yeah, so I thought that, those patterns were kind of healed, or they were kind of gone because I've been doing work for the last 2 to 3 years or whatever, inner work. And no, Ram Dass says, like, relationships shows us where we're at, and the relationship has definitely shown me where I'm at and how some patterns are still present. And now it's kind of bringing what I've learned into it and using it. So that's one of them. That's something that I've learned. Asking with curiosity rather than defensiveness. Because in that space of defensiveness, I've been realizing too how we already have a judgment or a story that feels so true, but they're not. It's an assumption. Hey, Sarah. Happy Thanksgiving. So, where was I going with this? I don't know. I'm totally speaking whatever comes to my mind. Sharing about just sharing what's on our mind. Expressing. So yeah, sharing with curiosity rather than defensiveness. That's something that I've been learning too. And again, it goes back to that space where, I don't want to share. And part of it too, sometimes why it comes in a defensive vibe, is because I'm already telling myself that I'm crazy. I'm already telling myself that I'm being insecure. Like, I'm already telling myself all these things. And I'm so in it that at the same time, I'm already thinking and feeling that the people that I'm sharing this with also think the same way back. And again, it's just an assumption. And I'm sure you guys can relate. When you're in that space, you just think it's true. And it's not, right? So it's been practice as well to like kind of step back and being mindful of what I'm telling myself or what the thought or the question is, and trying to turn the energy into curiosity rather than this other space of defensiveness. So that's been, and in that space again, like the more we practice, the more we realize that these judgments or these blocks that we have on ourselves aren't true. So in that space when I've been sharing things with my partner or with my friends with my friends, it's like, oh wait, like I'm not crazy, or hold on, like I'm not overthinking, or hold on, XYZ, like whatever I'm thinking of myself is not true. And it's practice to do more of my inner work, which is great. It's great juice. What does Ram Dass say? Like, milking it? It's, the grill. Oh, do you know what it is? Shit, it's at the top of my, it's like at the tip of my tongue. The mill, grist the mill, something. I'm totally saying it wrong. But yeah, so I wanted to share that. Something too also that I've been pondering on and also reflecting and pondering out loud right now as we speak is like, who are we sharing this to as well? You know, all of this I've been practicing with my close friends and friends that I've been with for a while or for a long time, and friends that I trust and friends that I know their intentions are well, good, and loving and compassionate. And I've been trying to be more mindful of who I share it with in terms of like what's the word? Like some of the questions that pop up is the person that you're sharing this with are they like, do they have the space to listen and to understand and to be attentive, or are they in their space and they don't have that space for you? Are the people that I'm sharing this with, are they doing their own inner work, or they're mindful of their own emotions and feelings and thoughts, their own journey? Also, like, support, you know, the people that I share this with, like, are they judgmental or are they supportive? You know, XYZ. So that's something that I've been pondering on. I share so much and I speak out loud so much, and just pondering on that is something to contemplate as well. You know, who are we practicing this with? Because I know if I practice this on family, it's not going to go the same way as I'm practicing this with like my close friends. Hey Sabrina, how are you? Happy Thanksgiving. What is something that you're grateful for? Carla too. I think Carla's on here too. What's something that you're grateful for? As we're in the space of Thanksgiving, I guess. So yeah, you know, and another thing also that I've been pondering on, just the people that I share this with, or the space of being vulnerable and raw, I guess, is like, what are the patterns that I guess they have in terms of, have I been in a space of being more unheard than heard, more unseen than seen, um, you know, and reflecting on that, not picking one and then running with it, but I've been pondering on that and then just checking in with myself and see how I feel when I'm sharing this, and if it's more support than unsupport, if it's more being heard than unheard, if it's more of those spaces, then it feels like it's more open for me to share everything that's on my mind or share more of these thoughts, you know? Sabrina said, I'm grateful for you and our honest conversations. Me too. So I actually just mentioned you earlier. So you're gonna have to go back and watch it, but I mentioned you. Me too. I'm grateful for the souls in my lives and these conversations. And that's something that I also wanted to bring up from what I wanted to share today, is that having these conversations with these people in your lives, like your loved ones, the ones that, the ones that you feel the most comfortable with. Like, we think shit's gonna hit the fan. We think that we're gonna feel more disconnected, or that we're gonna, like, they're gonna really tell us that we're crazy, or that we're overthinking, or that, you know, like, what the fuck. But if anything, like, when you practice this and when you share this, it actually creates more connection. It creates more depthness in the friendship. You feel more of a bond. There is... the only thing that pops up for me is a deeper, more genuine, loving, compassionate connection. And not only can you tell in the conversations, but you can also feel it. And it's awesome. You know, it's totally, totally awesome. So it's like, shit's not gonna hit the fan. And something that popped up too was like, okay, if shit hits the fan, like, we both can clean it up. Like, it's so cool. It's totally cool. So yeah, Those are some things to ponder on, that's what I wanted to make my tea time on today. And I mean, if you guys have anything else that you'd like to share, even if you're watching this afterwards, feel free to share. Part of this tea time, it's like I'm speaking out loud, pondering on some stuff, reflecting where I'm at as well, being curious with my own patterns and what I've been witnessing recently with a new relationship and practicing my own new things that I want to cultivate with my really good friends. And I'm sure all of this too will be such practice to also cultivate in other friendships or other relationships, which I have, I'm sure we all have, and making it part of who we are, especially when we're trying to change patterns of how we grew up or how we think things are going to be. It feels a little scary, but when you have a support group or when you have that support of a community, it feels more safe, it feels more trustworthy, and I don't know why I'm seeing it as like a ripple effect where it's like, okay, this is how it feels as I'm practicing this with my close ones, and the more I do that, it's just going to have a ripple effect on who I talk to with strangers and other people that I meet and so forth. Just making it more vulnerable, more raw, more... And also building my own... Not building myself, but being grounded. There you go. It feels and it encourages the space of knowing more of who I am and being grounded in that space no matter what. And I think part of the journey is to be in that space, feeling grounded, and no matter what, not having anything, anybody influence us or shake us off our own foundation of our roots. So, yeah. Hey! Hope you're doing well. So much love, guys. I want to share a prayer before I end this tea time. And it's from this Jesus Always. So again, thank you guys for tuning in. I'm grateful for you guys as well. Thank you for showing up and for, watching me live and for also watching me afterwards. I love the messages that I get from you guys when you guys watch. Some of you guys will send me messages how certain stuff hit or, asking me questions about certain stuff. And I really appreciate all of that. And I love the conversations. Same. Hey! So, yeah. Okay. So, let me pause this. I was playing country music. That's been my vibe all morning. Luke Bryan. Okay. So, this is a prayer. Jesus Always. And this is how it goes. Thanking me awakens your heart and sharpens your mind, helping you enjoy my presence. So when you're feeling out of focus or out of touch with me, make the effort to thank me for something. There's always an abundance of things to choose from, internal gifts such as salvation, grace, and faith, as well as ordinary, everyday blessings. Think back over the past 24 hours and make note of all the good things I've provided in that short block of time. Not only will this lift your spirits, it will make up your mind so you can think more clearly. Remember that your enemy, the devil, prowls around like a roaring lion looking for someone to devour. This is why it's so important to be self-controlled and alert. When you let your mind drift out of focus, you are much more vulnerable to the evil one. However, the remedy is simple. As soon as you realize what has happened, you can drive away the enemy by thanking and praising me. This is worship warfare. And it works. So, the way that I take the devil, or like the enemy, is our ego. And maybe that's another tea time. But our mind, our ego, and how sometimes it's trained to just look at the negatives or survival instincts kind of thing. But yeah, take some time to see the blessings that have happened in the last 24 hours. And even just this morning. So I'd love to hear it. So share if you'd like to share. So much love, guys. I hope you guys have a beautiful Thursday and weekend.